Hey guys and gals, welcome back to another Vinny Vid Productions presentation. I am Vinny, your host, also known as BNSF6951 and also known as Cousin Vinny. If you guys like watching rail fanning videos or run-off sessions on my layout that's sitting behind me, scratch builds, or live streams, then please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And after you hit the subscribe button, don't forget to hit the bell. This way you'll get notified every time I upload a video or a live stream. And I wouldn't mind you giving me a couple of those also. Anyhow, with all that being said, let's get on with the video. This Vinny Vid production video brought to you by Yankee Dabbler. Don't forget, 5% discount, code BNSS6951. Alright guys, as we continue on the kit build of Northern Power and Light Company for M&M Shortlines, this is going to be part number 4. And if you want to see what I have accomplished so far in number 4, please tune into the video, like it, comment on it, give me those, and all that kind of good stuff. Anyhow, let's get on with the video. Alright guys, when we left off in part 3, these guys still needed to get paint, and as you can see right now they are painted. And I also got the thread threaded in, and I'll show you how I did that. It was actually pretty easy. But the next task at hand is going to be installing all of these windows, glazing onto these windows. Now I'm not going to paint these only because they are gray already. And I just hit them with the flat finish, if you want to call it that. I won't call it dull coat because that's using a specific name. But anyhow, we're just going to turn this over like this. And we are going to use the clear plastic cement to do this. So I will start this and we'll see how this is going to work out. And then after I get these on here, then I'll clean up the edges with a file. Alright, well, let's get going with that then, I guess. Will be the next thing for us to do. Alright, I also prime this glue just to make sure a whole bunch don't come out, like that. And I'm just going to put this in a couple of spots. And the reason why I'm using this is because it will dry clear, so if any gets on the glazing, I'll be okay. Which I'm almost positive it's going to be. But I'm just putting little dots on there, basically. And then we're just going to take this guy and put him on there. And you see, as soon as you put it on, that it kind of squishes the glue out of it. And that's okay because, like I said, it will dry clear and we'll be okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do all of this and we'll see how this is going to look. Hopefully it'll look good. And I'm just putting little dots here, so if it does squeeze out, it's not going to be that bad. But like I said, this stuff will dry clear. So I'm not really worried about it. Alright guys, I'm not going to bore you with showing you all the windows, but basically that's how it's going to be done, just like that. And we'll see how this is going to turn out. So with all that being said, stay tuned and I'll bring you back when all of these windows are finished. Alright guys, there you go. 34 pieces of window glazing installed. Look at the shine on them puppies. Now this is the back side. Let me flip it around and see what it looks like from the front side. And yeah, I guess you can still see it. Alright. Anyhow, that's another step in the right direction for me. So now, the next major task I'm going to have, and by the way, I am working in a different area right now. The area I'm in right now used to be my dining room table. And it's only about 5 feet away from my original working area. Anyhow, with that being said, let me get set up for the next process of this build. Alright guys, the next task is to take all of these windows off of the sprue. Now I don't have a sprue cutter as most of you guys, so I've been using my chisel blade, and I put the flat side of the chisel up against the part that I'm going to keep, and I'll just put it in here like this, and just simple like that, and like that, and so the window comes out relatively clean, just a little bit of sanding on here, and we'll be good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and continue on this. Alright guys, I just want to show you how much preparation work has to go into doing a kit build, even a scratch build. But anyhow, after I cut these off with the sprues, I don't know if you guys are going to see this little, get a better pointer, this little guy right here. Well, that has to come off so it fits into the housing a lot better. So I just take my knife and I just kind of do this to it, get it pretty down smooth, and I'll do the same thing on the other ones, like that. Then I will take my emery board right here, and this one has a finer grit on one side than it does on the other. I'm using the fine grit on this, and basically I'm just going to sand it down till it's smooth, to my touch, and that's basically how I do it. Being in the automotive business, I had developed pretty sensitive fingers, and so I could pretty much feel when something's not right, and so I just knock it down, and there you go, nice and smooth. I do it around the top and also on the bottom. Anyhow, just to let you know that it's just not a slap and go type of deal. There's a lot of prep work that goes into putting a building together. Anyhow, as you can see, I got this pile done right here. This still has to get done, and all this on this side here needs to get done. So anyhow, I'll bring you back when all of that's finished. Then we also have the task of sanding down these guys right here, because that's the gluing surface, and like I always tell you, paint and glue just don't mix. Anyhow, be back shortly. Alright guys, what you're looking at right now is all the completed windows and doors ready for installation. But I cannot install them because there is 2 more things I need to do to the structure itself. And number 1 is to sand down every one of these window openings. And number 2 is to paint the outside, which I have not done yet. So with that being said, let me back this out so you can see that. this is going to get a paint, and I'm not going to tell you the color of the paint just yet. But anyhow, so the next process is going to be sanding down the building openings, window openings. But I also need to tell you, I don't know if I mentioned this already, but I hit the inside of this structure with this clear matte finish. This is a Rust-Oleum product, and I did that just so I can protect the paint from chipping and stuff like that. Anyhow, with that being said, let's go ahead and prepare this guy, and we'll carry on from there. Be back in a little bit. Alright guys, the next task at hand is to sand around all the window openings, because the windows actually get glued to right here. And so in order to do that, I was going to use my sanding stick, but I decided that I was going to make a little tool. And so what I did was I took a piece of this number 187 styrene strip, and I did my burn and bend method. Just put a cigarette lighter under there for about 5 seconds, and then bend it and hold it. And once you do that, it'll stay in that position. And then I just glued a piece of sandpaper on there, trimmed it down, and voila, I have a tool. So it works pretty well so far. I tried it on these, and basically just like that. Yeah, I just need to rough it up. I don't need to take all the paint off. I just need to make it rough enough where glue will adhere. I'll tell you, it's a lot better, I think, than using that big emery stick. So anyhow, I'm just going to do this one on camera, and then I will do the rest off camera. I just wanted to show you this nifty little tool. Now I would have used the next size up on the styrene. I would use the number 189. It's a little bit more stout both ways, and it wouldn't have as much flex as this has, but this is working just fine. So yeah, so we just, like I said, you don't have to get the paint all the way off, you just need to rough it up, just so the glue has enough place to adhere. And I think what I'm going to use on this, since it works so well on wax paper, I think I'm going to use the clear plastic window glue to glue all these windows in. I think that'll be good because, first of all, I think it's a stronger glue, and second of all, it's got strong, it dries clear. So if I get a little bit on the outside, that's okay. Anyhow, as you can see, I pretty much got these guys all the way down right now, and that's good enough for me. And we'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Alright guys, this is the next step on this structure that I'm doing. I did give this one here a wash. This one is still the original color. Now I know it's really hard for you guys to see that while it's on video, but what I see is some highlights in here, because like I said, this is a wash on here. And what it's doing is bringing the color of this through like I wanted it to. Anyhow, this is how I did it. I took this apple barrel Bond red and a little bit of white, and I mixed it up. I don't remember the proportions. It was probably 7 or 8 on the Bond red and 3 or 4 on the white, and some water, and I got this color. Now I know it looks purple in the bottle, but actually it works out really good. Anyhow, with that being said, I am going to go ahead and continue on painting the rest of this with the mixture I made. So stand by and we'll be back very, very shortly. We might even put this building together in this video, but it will not be glued to the foundation yet. Anyhow, with that being said, we'll talk to you guys later. Alright guys, we're going to do a short little mail call here, only because it's going to pertain to this build that I am doing. It is from Yankee Dabbler, and it was Marty from M&M Short Lines who ordered it and had it drop shipped to my house. And you guys want to know that you can do that if you buy stuff from Yankee Dabbler. And I know what this is because we spoke about it, and it is the other crane kit. So now he'll have the crane inside the building and outside the building. So that being said, what else is in here? Of course, there's a receipt in here, and I don't know, did he use his 5% discount? He did. Very good. Very good. I mean, you know, guys, depending on how much you spend, you're not going to get a whole big bunch of discount. But if you spend 15 bucks like this, you get 80 cents off. So hey, 80 cents is 80 cents. That's the rest of it. Alright, that's all that's in this package. So now that I got this kit, we can continue on. But I will show you a couple more things on this before we actually call this video good. So put that on the side over there, and put this one on the side over there, and we'll be back in a minute. Alright guys, there's some brickwork up along top here that I want to paint the same color as the brickwork on the outside. So I am using this Bond Red as I've been using, and it's really close color to what's actually what the kit came in. This is the original color, and I know you might not be able to see that very well, but it made it a little bit deeper brown or deeper red, like that, and I kind of like it. I like the color. Anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and do this, and I'm using the angle tip brush, and I'm going to use whatever's in the cap here, and just go away from the structure. And yeah, this is I'm not a very good brush painter, but we'll see how this turns out. I like the color. I mean, it's really close to what is on what the original color was, so that's a plus. I'm getting a little bit wild here. And this is acrylic paint, so it works very well with this plastic. And you see I'm painting right over the Rust-Oleum paint that I used earlier for the primary color of the building. And what I should do, since I messed up in there, I might as well just go ahead and do that, so it doesn't look like a mess up. Just like that, just right in that little crevice right there. And there you go. There's one side, and I got the other two walls. Actually, the other three walls to do. But at least that'll look like a separation between the inside wall and the brickwork that's on the outside wall. Anyhow, let's continue on with this. I'll go ahead and do the next two, and we'll see where we go from there. I got a little spot here I got to catch right here. And I might need to put a second coat on here. We'll see. We'll see how this looks when it dries. don't forget to get your top along here also. So we'll do that now so I don't forget. And there you go. Alright, three more, well actually two more to go because I did one already and I forgot about these ones. Anyhow, we'll get on with this in a little bit. Bye for now. Alright guys, as you can see in front of you right now, all the exterior walls have been painted. And I know you can't see the difference between the original color and the color of the walls at this point, but trust me, there is a difference. Now, I want to thank Walters for giving me this foundation down at the bottom. That's a nice flat spot that I went ahead and painted the same colors I painted the floor on the interior of this building. And I also gave it some expansion joints, as you can see right there, and I did that on just the end walls and the other side wall, and then finally this wall. Now let me move this stuff out of the way. One of my subscribers, Frank Neer, made a comment in video number 1 on this kit. He said to me, my door is, one of the doors is backwards. And I was trying to figure out what he was saying. So I'm looking at the hole here, and I'm saying, well, that looks right. And then I took one of the doors and I said, well, that looks okay. Not realizing that the key word in that was on the base. So when I was test fitting this piece, which is the one with the door over here, I did notice what he was talking about. Now they made wait a minute. Yeah, they made provisions, or they didn't make. Oh, I see. Oh crap. I think I did this on the wrong side. I guess it don't matter, as long as the opening, as long as this opening works. Yeah, I think we're gonna be good. Just a little bit different right there. That's alright, I could always modify this side anyhow. Alright, so the problem was that they put the notch in the locating strips here on the wrong side. So they had the notch on this side, but the door is on this side. Now I went ahead, because I wasn't thinking, and I did the notch on this side, and it's really not going to make a difference which way I do this, except that this would be the main entrance, and you don't want the main entrance to go right into the boiler. So I'm going to have to notch this side out also. And once I put the wall, the back wall on there, you won't see that extra little notch that I have. Anyhow, what else did I do? I gave this some expansion joints also, and there's more details going to go in here. So basically, we're not going to be done until I get this. Now Marty called me yesterday and told me that the rest of the parts are on the way, so hopefully I'll get them by the end of the week. So I guess the next thing we're going to do is start installing some of these windows. I need to go over this again up here on the top, because it's kind of didn't cover 100%, so I'll do that again, and I'll probably do that around the entire structure. Now this piece here has not been painted yet, so I need to do the paint on this guy. This guy is already painted, and as you can see, I put a little rust on there. So yeah, this building is almost ready to be assembled as a building, except that I won't glue it down to the foundation until I get the rest of the details to that. Anyhow, stay tuned. Let me get set up for this, and we'll start putting some windows in. Be back in a little bit. Alright guys, I went ahead and redid the notch over here, and it was pretty simple. I just cut down this way first, and then I used my chisel to kind of just scoop it out a little bit. When I got down to the bottom, I just used my emery board and smoothed it out. So with that being said, now we have the opening in the proper place. I also cut off the little bump out they had on this side as a little step for the door, and I might add that one back on this side. I'm not sure yet. Anyhow, like I said earlier, I think it's time for us to start installing some windows. So with that being said, let me go ahead and get set up, and we will do this wall first. Alright guys, we're ready to start putting these windows and doors in this particular wall. Now, I am going to be using the clear plastics glue only because if I get some in a place I don't want it to, at least it'll dry clear. And I'm also depending on its ability to hold stuff, as I have seen when it glued itself to the wax paper in one of my previous videos. Anyhow, we're not going to use very much of this, just a couple of drops here and there. Now the windows also have a recess in there, so when when you put it into its space, it'll kind of click into space, so you'll know you have it perfect. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and start with this, and let's see how this is going to work out. Again, I always do a little prime on my glue just to make sure it's flowing, and we'll go ahead and put a couple of drops on here. Now you saw me yesterday, my previous video, that I had cleaned up and all the window screw mounting points, and that was a task in itself. But we'll see how this glue is going to work. Like I said, I'm kind of counting on it being as strong as it is to hold it in here, because I didn't take all the paint all the way down to the bare plastic. So let's see how this is going to work. Go ahead and put this in here, and we'll feel for the lock, and there it is, and we'll just hold this down for a minute or two. I tell you, there's a lot of windows. I'm glad I didn't have to cut them all out, because that's one of the things I hate the most on doing scratch builds, is cutting windows out, windows and doors. But if I want to do it, I have to not complain about it, right? Anyhow, like I said, I'm just holding this down to give it some pressure, just to make sure that it holds in place. Alright, and we got these small guys over here. Alright, so let's go on to the next one. Now I do notice that this particular adhesive takes a while to actually cure 100%. The reason why I say that is because after I had installed all the clear plastic on here and it was sitting for about 20 minutes, I was still able to kind of maneuver it. It was a little bit difficult, but it can be done. I don't think that can happen right now because it had 24 hours to cure. So that's what I'm hoping, that this this clear plastic glue will do the same thing. Just want to hold this down for a few minutes just to make sure that it starts to adhere. Alright, and we'll go ahead and do this side next. There you go. Oops, see, that's the reason why I like doing the prime first. That just blobbed out, and I need to clean that with something real quick. Yeah. This is actually going to be a test wall first to see if this adhesive is going to work, because as you just saw, I just knocked that off. So we'll just have to let this sit up for a while and let's see if it actually does its job. I may even put some weight on top of there. But let's see if we do this next one here. Let's just get the door. Just wanted to make sure which part goes where. Damn it. I really don't think this glue is going to work here. We'll see. I may have to wind up using the Gorilla Glue. But we'll see. We'll let it set up and we'll see. I'll put some sort of weight on top of there. Let's get this primed out again. There you go. Okay. Alright, so that's the first wall. I'm going to let it sit up for a couple of hours and make sure that this adhesive is going to work. If not, I'll have to switch over to the Gorilla Glue. Anyhow, we'll be back in a little bit. Alright guys, as you can see, the windows actually got secured to this. I will admit that I put weight on it while it was drying, and I'm sure it's going to get a lot better as it gets older. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and start doing the rest of the windows in this, and that will probably be the end of the video. So with that being said, let's get going with this. One thing before I get on with that, I'll show you. I know I showed you how I cut the door space out for this, but I also added some expansion joints in here, and there'll be some more details that are going to go inside of this building. So that is going to be in the reveal, is where you'll see that. Anyhow, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and start doing the rest of these windows and get this out of the way, and we'll call it good. And I still need to paint this guy up here. So yeah, so anyhow, we'll go ahead and do this. Alright guys, what I noticed on this is that this glue does not have an instant adhesion, so it needs to get set for a while. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the weight back onto this one, and I think that's as far as we're going to go on this video. So with that being said, I hope you guys and gals enjoyed this video. And as always, your questions, comments, input, subs, shares, and likes are always welcome. For now, that's all folks. BNSF 6951 out.